Alright, I think I've managed to find once again some games that I didn't even know existed on Switch. Firstly, congratulations to the winner of our free game. Your name is on the screen right now. Good job. If you would like to enter our free giveaway each week, just leave your comments. Also, save yourself some money. You can save 5%, get 5% in cash back every time you buy your eShop credit over at our website, switchup.gg, and we get a tiny little kickback from Nintendo. Alrighty then, let's see what games I've managed to dig out of this ridiculous eShop, shall we? What are my favourites? Well, my name's Mark Walker, welcome back to SwitchUp. Now, let's find out. First up then, and this caught my eye because I saw it on Deku Deals and I was like, okay, that's interesting. That actually looks a lot like Divinity. Played the trailer and it literally references Divinity in one of the reviews. Now, so far I've only played a couple of hours. It cost me £12.31, which is a reasonable price. It's 30% off. But this one launched back in March, and I do remember seeing it on the upcoming games and thinking, actually, that looks really interesting, and then never getting a chance to check it out. Now, it's an RPG strategy adventure hybrid, but interestingly, it has online co-op for up to 6 different players. I'm not entirely sure how that works at the moment, but it has a fully customizable class system, which really does remind me of Divinity, and it allows you to really fuse together different styles. So like back in the day with Baldur's Gate, I always used to have like a fighter thief. Here you can do the same thing. You can mix together different abilities and skills. Although I don't know if this does use a D&D rule set, it feels like it does. Now, obviously, due to probably development and budgetary requirements, it doesn't have the scale of something like Baldur's Gate. This isn't an open world. You're not moving between towns in the same way. But you still do have a main quest line, so a full-on story. There are side quests that you can choose to go on, but it's more like a dungeon crawler in terms of how those stages play out, and has almost like a roguelite feel to it. But it is worth noting that there is a dedicated roguelite mode if you want to go down that path. Now, the combat is like tactical turn-based, almost uses a hexagonal grid system, which I do really enjoy, and it's interesting how that plays out if you've got a friend in online co-op as well. But there's just far more to this than I thought there would be, and I really wish we'd have reviewed it when it first came out. It's a definite hidden gem. I'm really enjoying it so far. As I say, that offline 1 to 6 multiplayer, I need to see how that works. But the online, yeah, so far so good, and as I say, it's the cheapest it's ever been, 30% off, down to just £12.31. A big thanks to, I can't remember who it was, someone in the comments was like, make sure you cover Tales of Symphonia Remastered, chiefly because when it launched it was in a terrible state. It was a bit of an embarrassment really. Obviously you had the GameCube version which ran at 60 FPS, the Switch version could barely hit 30, in fact there were times when it was down to 20, and it had a load of other bugs. Now, I think we can say that 90% it's patched up and in a much better state. It's now at its cheapest ever price. It's down to £12.59. And Tales of Symphonia is a brilliant game. So it was just a bit of a shame that they released it in the state they did. And it's an action RPG that is, for me, it's right up there. Like, you know, like the rest of you, things like Chrono Trigger are right up there. And for me, this is right up there as well. I absolutely loved it. And I played it much later. So now that it is running quite well, it still has 30 FPS, but let's be honest, that's not really the end of the world as long as it works well enough. It was more the bugs and glitches and things. I can definitely recommend it. Down 65%, has a great storyline, a classic RPG, and that sale goes on until June the 23rd. Now, one of our hidden gems this week has to be the game Savage Age. This hasn't been out for a great deal of time, and again it's another one that made the front cover of our upcoming games video, but it's a survival RPG with a 2.5D style. There are puzzles in there as well, and you have the aim of trying to uncover the 3-winged totem, or trying to recover I should say. There are 21 different levels, but as well as the survival there are some like base building elements in here, and there's even tower defense, which is very cool. I think I mentioned it in the last sales episode. I really do like it when hybrid game design works well, so you have those mixtures of the RPG, the survival, the crafting, the base building, and let's be honest, it's not always handled so deftly. This is single player only. It's only 1 GB, but there is also an endless mode for if you complete the main 21 stage game that gives it quite a good bit of replayability. Really nice idea, this one. The sale for that is 30% off until June the 25th. The opposite of a hidden gem then, we've got Celeste. Now I've gone back to Celeste this week after finishing Animal World to 100%, and I really enjoyed it. I don't think I rate it quite the masterpiece that a lot of people do, but it was a fun game. But Celeste is one that I absolutely loved and then struggled on the B side. So at the moment down to £4.49, that's 75% off. This doesn't actually go on sale that often, and I think this matches its cheapest ever price. What you've got here is a brutally challenging platformer that sees you climbing the titular Mount Celeste, and there are over 700 different platforming screens to make your way through. There are little checkpoints, down times where you'll be around the campfire. It has references to a lot of games, and it's just well made. It's a well made, enjoyable experience. So if you've not tried it for whatever reason, consider it at its cheapest ever price. Now, it was recommended that I feature Rise Race the Future, which will actually probably be in my next all patched up episode. But since it first came out and we reviewed it on the channel, it's had so many updates. Now, it's from, I think it was either a 1 or 2 person team, a fun little racing game that ran at like 30 FPS. It was nice, I enjoyed it enough. But since then, he has updated it so much. I think it's got 2-player split screen, it runs at 60 FPS. It's now got 64 different challenge races, there are 8 championships, there's a time attack mode. It's just a ton of stuff that wasn't there when I first played it, and I'm really impressed because, let's be honest, this is now the cheapest it's ever been. It's £6.40. That is a great little pickup if you're after a race you can play in 2-player co-op and you want to support an indie dev. Yeah, good time this, and the cars like transition to DeLoreans when you go on water. The wheels like fold up and you can fly around. Quality. That one is on sale at 60% off until June the 19th. Oh man, you know when you're like sat doing some work or something and you can hear a buzzing, but you can't locate it, so it really puts you on edge. There is a bee like in the wall or something. Like, where is that coming from? Oh my goodness. If I suddenly scream and it all goes silent, you know, like, I don't know, a giant bee monster came out of the wall. Next up, we've got SnowRunner, which is half price. I love this game, but it's down to its lowest in the US again. I have to say, I prefer this to the newer one. The open world design of SnowRunner just works so much better in my opinion. You've got 3 massive areas, loads of different quests to go and do. Go save someone, find new vehicles. Has a bit of a Ubisoft feel to it in not in a terrible way as well, like that could be quite a negative, but there are like watchtowers that you unlock to open up new areas and see what's in that space. But this one, unlike the newest game, actually has working online co-op that is a whole lot of fun. I have seen a lot of you have picked this up over the years and gone, oh my goodness, I didn't think I'd enjoy this, but it's absolutely amazing. And it is, great game, really good. Especially if you've got friends to play in online co-op. The sale for SnowRunner in the US regions only goes on for another couple of days. So if you're interested in that one, you've got to pick it up quick. Next on the list, we've got Cattails Wildwood Story. I'm pretty sure I didn't put that one in. Where's my daughter gone? Where is she? Oh my goodness. Yeah, so as I said in the previous episode, my daughter does the prices on these, and I think she has chosen her game and just stuck it in the list. Now, in fairness to her, this is a very, very enjoyable hybrid RPG adventure simulation game. I watched her play about 3 or 4 hours of it, and I'd say it's a hidden gem. Essentially, they released the first Cattails game, and it kind of had its little following, but this one's bigger and better in every way. You have to basically, well, help run. What would you call it? What's a like a pack of cats called? I don't know. Like a litter? I'm not entirely sure. But there are 20 different cats there. It has sometimes elements of like a Zelda game. There are like dungeons that you can go out to. But there's also territory, so there'll be other cats around and you'll have to capture different territories, gain resources, and that's from the evil cats in the game are called the Voidling cats. There's also a little bit of sim life in here. You can grow a garden, decorate your den, and it's not like a short little bite-sized experience. I think it took her around about 25 hours to finish. Certainly gets her seal of approval, clearly, because it's made its way into my list. But you know, I'll keep it. Fair play to her. She does pick a good game. That is the cheapest it's ever been as well. It's just £8.49. That's the cheapest, as I say, 50% off until June the 5th. Nice one, daughter. I know a few of you have been waiting for a cheaper price on Hogwarts Legacy. The deluxe edition is its cheapest ever. It's half price, down to $29.99. Still quite expensive in my opinion for a digital only experience, but I haven't seen the physical come down to that price yet. I mean, if you have, let us know in the comments. But this is a great open world RPG. I think it surprised a lot of people. There was obviously a little controversy around when it launched, but in terms of the actual game, it's brilliant, well designed, and also very difficult. I wasn't expecting it to be as hard as it is, which I see as a big positive, because it's not hard unfair, it's hard like the combat actually makes you use different spells in an intelligent way. It's a chunky one at 15 gigs, but yeah, worth considering if you've been waiting for the deluxe edition to go on its deepest ever sale. That's $29.99, 50% off until June the 16th. El Hijo, a Wild West Tale, is down to its cheapest ever, 65% off, £6.29, thanks very much. In my opinion, a definite hidden gem on Switch. You have to play a 6-year-old El Hijo. There's a bit of a stealth mechanic in here as well, as you try and evade enemies and make your way through the world. If you don't like stealth games, then obviously this isn't going to appeal to you at all. But there are also some nice little environmental puzzles to go along. It's not just stealth in everything. And I think the art style is stunning. Like, I think this just looks beautiful. I'd love to see this used more often. Gives me those Little Big Adventure vibes. Anytime I see that kind of isometric 3D, I just remember those moments of just getting Twinsen to do those silly jumps out of his confinement. And oh man, they actually did remake Little Big Adventure, didn't they? I don't know if they've released it yet. I got to try the the early build before it was due to release, at least. I don't know if they actually did. They did a few things in the early build that I was like, why are you doing that? Don't you find that so often with these remakes, or like complete remakes? They're putting a new gameplay mechanic because they think, I don't know what they think, like that we need that now, but it ends up detracting from the game. And I'll be honest, that's how it felt to me. I was like, wow. I mean, obviously I probably can't say too much, I might get in trouble. Yeah, I better stay stum. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. Sometimes they just do too much. It's like, leave it how it is. Give it a new lick of paint and stick it out. I'll be more than happy with that. Thanks very much. Finally then, and I did mention this the other day, so if you missed our sales video on Wednesday, the midweek sale, this was the hidden gem there, and I'm putting it again because I've been playing it for the last couple of days, really enjoying my time, and it's just great. It's Pronti, 50% off. It's a Metroidvania featuring a little swimming creature that uses a swordfish as a weapon. It's just really well done. There's a fun little storyline, there's some good boss fights, it's fast paced. It's, yeah, just way better than I thought it would be, so I'm quite happily sticking it in this video as well. It's basically you splice Little Mermaid with Hollow Knight and you end up with this. The sale for that goes on until June the 5th. Then, as I mentioned last week, we've got a new section, our bundles section, a couple of bundles for you. We've got the Point and Click Lovers Bundle. Yes, please. 72% off until June the 30th, and that's in the EU region. So we've got £19.59 here in the UK. But you're getting Deponia, Life of Delta, Children of Silent Town, Anna's Quest, Chains of Satnav, which we spoke about last week, and Edna and Harvey, the Breakout Anniversary Edition. That is so much point and click adventure goodness, and it really does cover almost every base in terms of point and click. You've got the more cartoony, Guybrush Threepwood-esque inspired Deponia, but then you've got the more gritty, realistic, almost Beneath a Steel Sky Life of Delta, where you've got a bit of, yeah, it's got it all in there. Do you remember Future Wars? That was another good one as well. That's obviously not in here, I'm just like reminiscing. But yeah, if you're an adventure game fan, then Daedalic obviously creates some of the best ones, and this bundle in the EU regions is going to save you a wedge load of cash. That sale goes on until June the 30th. The US bundle, well, you've got the Outlast Bundle of Terror, which is actually all regions, 75% off for all the Outlast games. First person, absolutely terrifying experiences that I haven't finished because I'm a complete wuss. But for £4.99, yes please. That's one to consider. Then we go on to our Savaloy Selection, the very cheap games, the price of a UK Savaloy or a Fedkuk. I am told that my comparison of the German snack, what is it? It was like the curry sauce with the sausages and chips. Apparently that doesn't work because it's just far too expensive. So yeah, I need a new German snack. What about a schnitzel? Is that cheap? Does that work? I love the word schnitzel, man. First up, we've got High Water. That's 80% off. Now, if you remember, what was it called? Golf Club Nostalgia. It was Golf Club Wasteland, then Golf Club Nostalgia, because they changed the name for no apparent reason. But the character in there that you play golf as in his little like suit, you actually see these in the game High War. It feels like it's the same world. I'm not entirely sure if that's the case at all, but it does feel like it's all part of that same world. But here you're moving around Waterworld style on your little boat, and it's actually quite a linear adventure game, but it has this unusual turn-based combat that's a bit like a puzzle. So it's not just, you can't just attack head on and win every time. You really have to think about cover. You can knock things down that will like break the ground and send them into the water and things. So yeah, it's reasonably interesting. Some of it's a little bit clunky, but I did enjoy the atmosphere. You've got the radio playing in the background that also makes it feel quite a bit like the Cub, if you've played that game. But this is in the US regions at the moment on their biggest sale, and it takes it down to $3.99. Sheesh. Now, Fire Girl DX, not to be mistaken for Fire Grill DX, which my daughter was saying wasn't a thing, and I agreed with her, and then she read it again and was like, oh yeah, it's Fire Girl. This is quite a fun little one, and definitely at 85% off, taking it to $2.69, an easy little Savaloy pickup. I think we have a full review of this one, so go check that out. Blackguards 2, I think, is a really solid tactical turn-based RPG that sees you trying to recruit an entire army to fight back against this person that imprisoned you, and that's now just £1.29. Wildcat Gun Machine, it's like a fast-paced action game. I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was good, but not what I'd class as anywhere near a great game, but for a little £1.29 pickup, I'd be quite happy with that. Another one that we've got a full review of, so you can go check that out. There are some good boss fights in there. And then one last mention for the last campfire, 87% off. You really should get that before it leaves this sale. One of the best adventure games we've got on Switch. Goes on until June the 11th. It's just £1.34. Yes, please. So that is it for this week. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. The bee has not put an end to me, so that's fantastic. In fact, it's eerily quiet in here at the moment. It's probably sat on its Switch buying a few Savaloys. Thanks to our Patreons and our members for all things Switch all the time. Keep it Switch up. Oh, and make sure you hit all the buttons, because that really actually is like a useful thing that you can do for boosting the videos in the algorithm. So there you go. Keep it Switch up. See ya!